6:15. Welcome back to Today in AZ. Let's get you up to speed now on the stories you need to know to start your morning. 6 months after 3 children drowned while trying to cross Tonto Creek, a proposed bridge that could save future lives may not get funded. The state legislature could end its regular session today, which would kill any legislation that has not made its way to the governor's desk. This includes a plan that would provide funding to build a bridge over Tonto Basin. Efforts to get federal funding have been denied in recent years. Well, 2 men are now in custody this morning in connection with a shooting death that sparked national outcry in Georgia. Recently released cell phone video shows Ahmaud Arbery, who's black, running in his neighborhood, then apparently wrestling with one of the men. Both of them were white over a gun before being shot to death. The suspects they're being charged with murdering Arbery. Arbery's mother says he was unarmed. Police say the investigation is ongoing. More protests are planned for today on what would have been Arbery's 26th birthday. Well, the Justice Department has filed a motion to drop charges against Michael Flynn, President Trump's former national security advisor. This comes even though prosecutors have maintained that Flynn lied to the FBI about his conversations with Russia's ambassador. Flynn pleaded guilty, then later changed his plea. Now, the DOJ says it's dropping the case, quote, after a considered review of all the facts and circumstances of this case, end quote. And now you're up to speed. Don't forget, you can always find the latest news on our website, 12news.com, or the free 12 News app.